The month of September has seen some spectacular pump and dumps. Now I want to go through in this video and have a look at what we could have done better to avoid being dumped on, and potentially what we could look for in order to get on board these pumps before they happen. I created a skit in one of last week's videos. Go and check that out if you haven't already. It relates specifically to this whole wreckage of pump and dumps in a hopefully humorous way. Now I'm going to talk about those in today's video, but just before I do, if you find value from the videos, you know what's coming next. Hit the like button down below. This is not financial advice, but for some reason you want to consider it financial advice. I want to see how many of you do, so you'd also hit the like button down below and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. If you are subscribed, hit the bell notification icon so you can see when these videos come out live. I premiere them in the evenings and I'm on there live with a lot of you guys chatting in the chat box that comes with the premiere. So with that said, let's try and get this video to 300 likes. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm, or at least my channel in the YouTube algorithm. And I would like to help out as many people as possible learning more about technical analysis and how they can blend that together with their fundamentals so they can find better times to buy and sell and improve their financial position in order to get out of their rat race, live the financial freedom lifestyle. And to help you out with that further, I've got a Discord group. So go and check out the link in the description. You can go across and use your 2-week free trial to the amazing content in that group. There is also a massive announcement from one of the OG traders in there around the ASX 200, basically his forecast on the ASX 200 over the next several months. So go and check that out. Link is in the description. Now, enough of the Tony Robbins positive affirmation style like intro. Let's get on with the guts of the video. And the video is going to be broken down into easy to digest parts. We're going to start with the macro view of the charts, move down to the micro view, talk about market sentiment, and then talk about my opinion on buy, sell, or wait for each of these stocks. So if you haven't already, hit the like button down below and the subscribe, and let's go and nerd it out in the charts. Now you can nerd it up with us in the charts just on the premieres, or if you want to have more nerd out time, come across to Discord where you can learn a lot about trading and investing, ASX, US, crypto, the legacy markets like gold, silver, and the like. Come across here. The link is in the description down below. You will land in this channel, which is new members. From here, go across to join members. You basically just click that and then type in ASX so that we know that you are coming from these videos on YouTube. Once you do that, I'll click on your name and then add you to the free trial. So you get 2 weeks to go and check out all of this great content, all of this stuff that has locks, little padlocks on them. That stuff is the paid, but there is a ton of free stuff in there too. A lot around patterns, so you can see support and resistance, candlestick databases. The list is massive in here as well. So go and check that out. Link in the description. Now let's move across to the first chart. And I'm going to start with the largest cap first. This is Mesoblast, MSB. Now 3.2 billion, no dividend yield. Is it a pump and dump? Now, it has pumped a little bit, but I consider this sort of pattern more sustainable than the next sort of patterns we're going to see. And you'll probably notice the difference when it comes to brain chip and Novonix. Those sort of pumps are crazy. And I'll be able to show you another one that has recently just pumped that was in relation to having a contract with Tesla. So you may already know that stock, but I'll talk about it in just a tick. Mesoblast had a lot of good news, I guess, come out around this time. It's just continued to climb the stairs nice and slowly. That's what we want. I mean, it's considerably fast when you compare it to big markets like CBA or something like that. But for a 3 billion, it's just having its time. It's pushing up, it's having a pullback. It's pushing up, having a pullback. This is healthy. This is like the tides. We don't want to see a tidal wave come in because that will destroy us. That's like a massive wave just coming through and destroying your city, and then it flushes out. All the water just leaves again. We want to see the ocean with some nice steady tides coming in and out, in and out, in and out. That's consistent. We can work with that. So that's Mesoblast, and I've talked about it in a couple of other videos. These are the price points. I'm waiting for it to break through this 520. That's where I think it's going to be a little bit of a more safer buy. Potentially could fall back to 420, so it really just depends what your risk tolerance is with a stock like this. It does have the potential to push on really hard, really quick. But look, overall, I'm definitely doing some fundamental analysis in it because it is still early days for this sort of company. So our support and resistance shows us 320, 420, and 520. nice, easy round numbers. This is probably the main one that I see here at 320. If that starts to break down, I'll probably say that it's off. You know, the trade's off for some time, but for now, it's still reasonably healthy, although I'm waiting to see the end of the week close because it's currently under this resistance. I want to see it close above this resistance, and I want to see this volume much higher than these other days. Even a little bit higher would be lovely so that we know that there is a lot of buying strength coming through and they're finding value above these old prices set back in August. So that's Mesoblast. Now the next four I'm going to run through are all, I would say, the small caps, about between 300 and 600 million. The first one has been mentioned so many times, maybe by the one person, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if this is also something you're looking at. 3DP Pointera, I guess that's how you say it, 400 million market cap. And let's have a look at the chart so we can see that it doesn't look anything like what we just saw on Mesoblast. See how this has got some nice easy steps coming up into its high. 3DP just looks like a nice big pump. It's a lot slower than the next one I'm going to show you, but again, I just don't know how sustainable this sort of pump is. It could blow from 54 cents to $1.08 and double, you know, where this old high is back in 2014. So look, that's something to consider, but on the way down, they tend to come down very hard, very fast. So keep that in mind. And the levels I'd be looking for, like basically a support would be around these lows that was set back on the 7th of September, the week beginning 7th. That low is around 39.5 cents, so somewhere around 40 cents seems to be a temporary support level. This bar isn't looking so healthy, being that it's in the lower end of the bar at the moment. You want to see this close above the 50% level of this weekly bar here. So what we use here is the Fibonacci tool, fib retracement, low to the high. This easily shows us the 50% point is 59.5 cents. You can see right there. So if we can get it to close at 60 cents, maybe not too bad for the coming weeks. Maybe it will come back down and just sit on these old highs to retest them at around 48 to 50 cents. But yeah, we definitely want to see this week ending on the 2nd of October above 60 cents, the close. All right, so that's Pointera, 3DP. Let me know your thoughts on 3DP because it's been asked or requested many, many times. Now let's move on to the latest massive pump, which I don't know if many people have seen yet. Piedmont Lithium, let me know if I said that right. PLL, I'll just refer to it as that. A $300 million market cap. And as we can see with this chart here, straight up. This one got its contract, an official ASX announcement to say that it had a contract with Tesla. And that's probably why we've seen this pump here. I mean, more than likely, I'd say 99.99%, that is why we saw this massive pump during this week. Now, last week, it started to take off, and you can see this volume down here. It looks tiny compared to this week's volume, but if you compare that volume compared to the rest of its history, it's very big volume starting from last week. So if that announcement didn't come out last week, some people were in the know about it. So yeah, look, that's pretty much where we're sitting at with PLL. It's had its pump. I wanted to bring that to your attention because we're talking about getting wrecked, getting absolutely destroyed on stocks that are just being bought up on news announcements and then later dumped, which we will see in the next two. So my thoughts on this, we've got the macro view, we've got the micro view, what's happening, buy, sell, hold, wait. Look, it could continue up and it could triple. Who knows how much energy it has in it from this one news announcement. But if you want to play the long game, you're probably going to get wrecked if you don't know what you're doing with something like this. I could see this easily just get destroyed straight after the energy runs out from that one news announcement and then basically just come back to sit 17 cents and 10 cents and then just sort of taper out and not really do too much until the next bit of news comes. So keep it on your watch list if you are believing in that whole sector of electric powered vehicles and batteries and whatnot. But for now, that is the example of getting pumped and subsequently dumped, like we can see further back here in their charts of 2006 and on BrainChip. So BrainChip's now down to a $600 million market cap. BrainChip has been absolutely destroyed. You can see it here. I've got this on a log scale, so I'm just going to move my face over a little bit more And then these are the buttons down here that I'm using. So you can see my little head in the corner here. Log. I'll take that off log. That you can see is a dump. Massive, massive dump. I'm enjoying saying that because we talked about it on the channel heaps, but people, they don't want to believe that they can be dumped upon, but it can happen and will almost always happen after a massive, massive spike like that. You can see further back here that it also happened on BrainChip. Nice big pump, and then it's dumped. That point, which I just had on the chart, was a 95% drop in the price of BrainChip back then. Could we see another 95% drop? Yes. Could we see an 80% drop? Probably. Could we see any sort of drop is potential. We're already seeing a 60% drop. So I think we're probably likely going to see a bounce somewhere around that 28 to 30 cent level because there are some old highs around here. Maybe a little bounce, and then people will get flurried into it and jump in again, and then they'll get dumped upon, and then it'll just be years of this sort of tracking down if they don't have anything else built by that stage. This is usually the construction phase. I'm going to bring my head back into the game. Basically, the news comes out. What happens we're going to talk about market sentiment. News comes out, it pumps, and then as they are building and developing and making connections with other companies and getting the information out there, this is what happens to the stock price. Now that is the part that actually takes time. You know how long it takes to build something compared to how long it takes to actually talk about something. So it's not that the company is bad, it's just that it takes time to do stuff. And then once some other news comes out, boom, it's away, and then it fades. So this is the pumping and dumping wreckage pattern that we see constantly in small caps. So let's move across to the last one, which is Novonix. 360 million market cap. It was the darling of all of YouTube, ASX YouTube and everything else going on out there. And what do we see now? We see it barely struggling to survive to hold the dollar level, when before people were like, I'm going to sell at $5, I'm going to sell at $10. This thing is going right up to the moon. Novonix is getting dumped upon, probably finding some support here due to a little bit of accumulation back in July before it took off to its last peak. And then there's also this old high back here in October 2017. So there were some buyers and stuff back there. But I think overall, this is probably going to see a bit of a gradual fall, maybe back down to these levels of around 40-ish, 40, 50 cents, which you can see just here on this support line, which basically was holding out as resistance all through 2019. Bringing my head back into the game, that's Novonix. Again, that's another stock that's been dumped. I've got my support and resistance levels. I think it's still a good stock. Now, obviously, everyone's got to do their own research, not financial advice. You understand that. If you don't, hit the like button down below. But look, maybe a watch list sort of stock and just see if we can get a better entry price. And I think it's going to come somewhere around this level where it shot up really quickly above the old resistance levels. And that level is, like I said, between that 50 and 60 cent level. And potentially it will continue to drag down from there. But I still don't see a bottom forming at this $1.08, which means it's just not a place that I would be looking to purchase more Novonix or any Novonix if you don't have any already. Guys, I hope you found some value from looking at these stocks that have been pumped and dumped in recent times, just starting to understand the patterns of them, even though the fundamentals can be fantastic, even though the news can be fantastic, even though everyone on YouTube or on ASX chat groups are talking about these stocks. You really need to understand the price charts at that time, the market sentiment, and just looking for support and resistance and the patterns to see if they are actually just blow off tops, and basically keep it on a watch list and wait for it later. So if you did find some value, be sure to hit the like button down below and the subscribe bell notification. I have the Discord group in the description that you can join and learn more about trading and investing, all of these markets across the world, ASX, US, just becoming a better investor all round rather than continuing to watch more and more YouTube videos to try and learn tiny little bits and pieces. If you want to learn more, that's the group down there. If you want to keep it free, that's fantastic as well. There's also that option. And I think it's just great to get education in regardless. One last link down there is for the Crypto.com debit card, where you can pick up interest on your AUD, USD, 12% per annum. You just have to stake a little bit of their token. So be sure to use the referral link down below, and you can also get yourself $50 US for free. I'll see you guys at the next video. I really appreciate your support throughout these videos. I've got so many more ASX and property news videos coming up. And until next time, have more fun to get more done.